Hey everyone, Captain Logan here of the Keelhauled podcast. If you're watching this video, you're here for the cinematic trailer breakdown. We're going to be talking about the lore, the little bits that they put into the video, and seeing if there's anything that we can kind of suss out from the video before the adventure goes live. The adventure is going live in a few days, so if you're watching this later on, there's a good chance that it's available now and will be for the next couple weeks. So make sure you're jumping into the game to experience it for yourself. If you're watching this before the adventure, then a lot of this is going to be kind of like speculation. We're not really sure what's going to happen in this, but we're going to be watching the trailer. We're going to sit down, kind of pull some stuff together. I grabbed a couple tabs here for some things that I wanted to talk about, so that way you kind of have some visual references, because I don't edit these. They're coming to you straight. And as such, I wanted to let you know, if you're watching this right now and you haven't seen the trailer all the way through in its entirety without any kind of interruption, this is not the video for you. You're going to want to come back after you actually watch it, because I'm going to be stopping, starting, going back, talking about things, kind of referencing other things, and it's going to lose its kind of appeal as like a nice little cinematic piece. And I think they do a really good job with this, but I figured this was a great opportunity to kind of talk about the lore and kind of the background behind some of this as we jump in. So right off the bat, let's talk about what we're seeing here. Is like, try and readjust myself a little bit here. We are at Liar's Backbone. Liar's Backbone is the centerpiece for Stitcher Jim's hideout. It's where his hideout is, and this all kicked up for Heart of Fire, one of the tall tales that came before we really got into adventures. So in fact, it was the last tall tale before we got A Pirate's Life tall tales, and as such, it was the last little bit of information that we had pertaining to Flameheart. And after that, we got the Fleets event, and then everything just kind of went quiet after the Ashen Lords, after the ship fleets and stuff, and Flameheart left and didn't come back until most recently with the adventures, when we got the the sea forts and the Spanish conquistadors that were working for Flameheart Senior now. So we're here at Liar's Backbone, and we're just kind of checking things out. And up here at the very top, you can kind of see, it's hard to really kind of get a good glimpse of, but for all intents and purposes, it is one of the cursed pets, one of the cursed parrots that is available to, people that purchase it through the store, or if you've seen it in the past adventure where we were actually trying to get information from what Merrick was planning to do over at Golden Sands Outpost when Reapers decided to assault the actual outpost. So here we have our little stooge bird kind of hanging out above Liar's Backbone, and there's good reason for it, because the lantern's on, so somebody's home. But is it Stitcher Jim? Here we have some of the Lord and King writings that if you head over to Stitcher Jim's hideout, you can open it once you're actually on the Heart of Fire tall tale. There's lots of engravings on the wall that are in the skeleton language, just the kind of sketch marks that they tend to use for everything. And it is just kind of, again, testament to this being the former hideout for Stitcher Jim. You've even got one of the banners here that's kind of torn that has Flameheart's sigil on it. Again, a great opener. You get the cute little music of Shelley that Robin Beanland probably came up with. It's great. As we are kind of sitting here, you can see this is the locket carrying place that had the actual key to get down into the Heart of Fire. Here's the combination lock that is required to be able to open it up. That combination lock with, of course, Flameheart's sigil on some fabric just below it. And here is a very familiar lantern on top of a bunch of books. And Shelley is kind of checking things out. It's kind of interesting to find out, why are all these books here? This isn't normal. As she scales, it's so great seeing her kind of scale the large tower of books to get to the very top. I did want to point out one interesting thing here. If you can kind of see, maybe if I scroll back just a little bit before she gets up there, we can kind of take a look. All these books are very nondescript, right? There's not very much to them until you get to this very top one that has a little bit of a burnt edge there, a little bit of a symbol. You take a look as Shelley's kind of going up, and boom, there you have it, a big scratch mark through the necklace the shape of the Forsaken Alliance, the crew that was out there, the crew that was murdered by Stitcher Jim. And there's a giant deep scratch in the cover of this book, which to me suggests that it held a lot of sacred information, but Stitcher Jim, as aligned to the Flameheart previously, the Gold Hoarder, is now kind of upset with the Forsaken Alliance. So if you guys don't remember, this was the necklace that all of the Forsaken Alliance actually wore as part of the Alliance. They had the Forsaken outfit as well, too, and they all resided out in the Forsaken Roar, or the Devil's Roar now. So this having a deep scratch indicates that Stitcher Jim, this was his personal journal from when he was in the Forsaken Alliance. And it's kind of cute watching Shelly just kind of reach out to try and grab the lantern. She wants to be Belle, and I don't blame her. Belle's fantastic. But here we get the reveal of Belle, who is currently digging through quite a bit of stuff. Now, I don't know if you can actually see this too well. I'm trying to think if maybe I can actually grab a quick screen clip of this. We're doing this on the fly. This is never a good way to do this. But let's see if I can actually grab this. And I just thought about it. So if you look down here, try this again. If you look down here, you can kind of see some of the stuff that Belle has been toiling over. The information about the Veil Stones, about the Veil of Ancients. She's got the Megalodon with the Shrouded Ghost inside of it and how it ate it. And then we've also got the crew that was required to be able to summon the Megalodon. So she's kind of poring over some of the notes that Merrick had been going over. She's taking over Merrick's place right now because Merrick, if you're not aware, is down in the Pirate Legend Tavern. He is now there kind of hiding out because it's something that I'm trying to think. They're trying to protect his knowledge from the Dark Brethren court. So he's just kind of residing there. Now, if we look at the ruins here, I don't know if these are significant, and I'm trying to remember what this one is. I'm having a hard time. I might have to look that up as we're kind of going through this, but this is Kraken, this is Boat, and I believe this is Flame. So I'm not quite sure if this is indicative of something that's going on. I could probably take a look. I wonder if I could look it up real quick and see if I can find my old skeleton runes, or maybe the actual, you know what, the wiki would probably be a good way to go about this. So let me see if I can pull this up. So we're here with Belle, and she's digging through all this stuff, seemingly to try and find if there's any information that she can gather to actually get an idea of how to stop Flameheart Sr. from coming back, how to stop Flameheart Jr. from being able to resurrect him, and to try and figure out what the Dark Brethren Court are actually trying to look at. So we're going to see if we can try and figure out what this actual symbol is. And I've got the actual website here. We're going to see how this looks on screen. Yeah. Okay. So let's see if we can actually take a look and see what this symbol is. It might be one of the unknown ones because we do have a few of those. But if I can maybe find out which one that one is, it might give us an idea if it actually pertains to what's going on or not. But it doesn't look like this is one of the major ones, although it should be because this was part of Stitcher Jim's thing. So we should actually know it, but it doesn't look familiar to me. Maybe you guys are in chat, maybe you guys are looking at this later on, or maybe you've done your own research. Oh, there it is, Resurrection. Okay, so we've got Resurrection, we've got Ship, and we've got the Kraken. So the Kraken, the Ship, and the Resurrection, which honestly, now that I'm looking at it, I'm gonna say, yeah, it pertains to it. So one of the big things that happened back in A Pirate's Life, Tall Tale 2's, we actually had to go down into the Sirens lair, and we found out that the Silver Blade was being kept there, and it was actually the resting place of the Chest of Eternal Sorrow, which held the Siren King's soul within it, the thing that was actually being chased down by when the Sirens and the Krakens, when the Sirens and the skeleton ships were chasing after the Silver Blade, the resurrected Silver Blade, that was being helmed by another crew, not Flameheart Juniors, that we found out through the journals in A Pirate's Life Tall Tale 2. So this whole Sirens Prize has kind of been what we've been thinking is actually going to happen, is that the Silver Blade is going to be resurrected, and having this ship resurrected is kind of suggestive, because these are not the actual skeleton glyphs that you need to use to open up the chest, the locket that led you to the Heart of Fire, right? So it leads me to believe that there's a good chance that if we need to go down to actually resurrect the Silver Blade ship to get down there, then we are going to have to deal with a Kraken. Potentially. I actually don't know. We're going to have to find out in a couple days here, but let's get back to this. So Belle's kind of here.
Careful, little one.
And this is very nice. We get the nice little opening of the book here.
Nothing in this place should be trusted blindly. But there is...
You know what? I skipped ahead. I wanted to show off the room here because I really love this. It's got Flameheart's face kind of etched in the stone. I don't know how Stitcher Jim made his way up there, but it is very much like the turn-in point of Reaper's hideout. It's very much what the original Reaper's hideout looked like, and it makes me wonder if this was something that that this was being worked on with the Masked Stranger back when Wanda the Warsmith was actually working with Stitcher Jim, because they were working together for quite a while. And I wonder if this design was actually the kind of impetus, the primordial ooze of what the Reaper's hideout looks like now, and as a result of this. So very kind of nice to kind of look at things in perspective and think like, oh, you know what, Reaper's bones was actually kind of based on Stitcher Jim's original hideout. Very kind of cool stuff.
But there is truth here. I can sense it.
So this was a very interesting thing. And actually, while we're on the topic of skeleton runes, let's see if we can grab a couple here. So we've got the 3-dotted eye. And thanks again to the Sea of Thieves wiki for always having this stuff available. It's always great to be able to pull this stuff out and take a look. So we've got one right here is kind of the symbol here, commonly used by the Order of Souls. So we don't really know if there's a for sure meaning behind it, or if these two are kind of tied together. And then we've got let's see if I can find it, the eye with the 3 dots, which I know is pretty old if I remember. No, I don't see it right off the bat. So we'll have to see if that actually leads to uncovering more information about it. It kind of looks like this. It kind of looks like, no, it is just a straight eye with 3 dots. So it's kind of like this one. And unfortunately, we don't really have any information about what this is, but I would love to be able to have an idea of what these are. I know this symbol is common amongst a lot of the ancients paintings and stuff, but as we take a look, we can actually see that it looks like there's one of the dark effigies that we've been carting around for a very long time, with a bunch of flames in a very ritualistic pattern around it. So is this the spell that is being required to be able to resurrect Flameheart? Is that kind of what was being worked on while they were building the Reaper's Bones hideout?
And the time of resurrection shall be foretold by one reborn as the herald of the flame.
This I love because of this dude. This gentleman went and stuck his hand inside a chest of rage. His hand started freaking out, and then he disappeared and has not returned. And for all intents and purposes, the Herald of Flame is from, I personally feel like him. I feel like we're hopefully going to get Stitcher Jim back. It would be fantastic if that's actually what happens. Because as you guys have known, there's been some people that have worked with him and were frightened of him because of what happened. Now, this is obviously an image of when Duke, he was like this before, but he came back, he was all beaten up, and it was because Stitcher Jim had beaten him up. So the Dark Brethren have definitely crossed with Stitcher Jim in the past. They were working together, but I would love it if he was the heralder of the flame, the sign of resurrection that Belle is talking about, and that he is the one, because of his knowledge, that leads us back to the idea of what's going to happen. Like, is Flameheart Jr. going to recruit Stitcher Jim to be the heralder of flame and help with the resurrection of his father?
No.
So here's a great opportunity to kind of showcase like the Flameheart Jr. is definitely keeping an eye on things. He's definitely got his spies out there like Odin's ravens, just kind of keeping watch on things and hearing the reporting back of it. It's fantastic. I love the kind of subtle hints about we know what's going on, and so does everyone else in the Sea of Thieves.
Pirate courage alone is no longer enough. But true allies are hard to come by out here. The cost of their loyalty will be high.
I really want to know what she's talking about here. The cost of their loyalty will be high, because given that the thing that we're going after here, the Sirens Prize, from what the title of the actual adventure is, as well as the skeleton glyphs on the lock there with the Kraken, the ship, and the resurrection, suggests that we're going to have to try and work with the Sirens, which, you know, given that we're fighting against the Dark Brethren court right now, does not really bode well, which may be the reason why she's saying that the cost of loyalty will be high. What is the cost of loyalty? What could the Sirens possibly want that will give them enough reason to side with us if that's what's going to happen? Because I don't know what other allies we have that we don't already know about. I can't imagine that it's actually going to be the Reaper's Bones in this case, but maybe the Dark Brethren court. Maybe there's enough hatred of Stitcher Jim that the Dark Brethren might actually side with us for a second, just to help stop Flameheart Jr. being able to resurrect Flameheart Sr. Maybe the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but at what cost? What do you have to do to be able to cause someone who is like this, going after their silver blade, to resurrect it, to be able to bring it back into the seas and command their ship? How do you stop that if you don't have someone like this on your side and the resources that the Dark Brethren have now with the forces that they control over in the Sea of the Damned? Like, we stopped them now, but we might need their help, or we might need the Sirens' help. And that's kind of what's exciting about this, is I don't really know how we're going to be able to stop the Herald of Flame from helping Flameheart Jr. to resurrect the Silver Blade, which is the Sirens Prize. But we're going to be finding out real quick.
I think perhaps it's time for us to take a dive.
Very suggestive that we're going to be working with the Sirens here. Super excited about that. The little tease here at the very end, this might be the cost. This might be the cost of what's going on. If we are to help them, is it going to be something where we have to either destroy mermaid statues? Are we going to have to protect mermaid statues? Are we going to have to bring them siren gems? Very interested as to what the cost of working with the Sirens is actually going to be. But a great way to kind of push things forward with the narrative and suggest, like, hey, you know what? These things are out there. We've been destroying them for how long? And who told us to actually break them? Yeah, maybe we reveal a little bit of the truth about what happened with all those mermaid statues to the Sirens and see what they really think about what's going on with this Dark Brethren alliance. So, if you guys don't know, this is going to be kicking up on Thursday, which I believe is actually, let me take a look here, the 15th. So Sirens Prize, the next adventure in Sea of Thieves. I'm looking forward to it. It's going from, of course, right there, the 15th to the 29th for free to anyone that's been playing. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you all had a good time with the breakdown. I love doing this. We'll probably be doing another one. And with that, I will see you all later.